Hello, guys. So my name's Ivan. Myself, along with Herman and Desmond, are going to be the tutors for DR10 Studio, the Quest for an Urban Elixir. So just want to say thanks for expressing all your interest to join our studio. For those who are new or maybe still considering which studio to join. And now we're just going to show you a short introduction video, which hopefully can provide you a framework of what we are looking into and also what we are hoping you guys to achieve in 8 weeks time, hopefully. So yes, just enjoy the show first, and then we'll come back to you afterwards.
Humans have long harbored an obsession with living forever. We fear expiry, aging, and dying. We long for eternity. Since prehistorical age, many architectures were once influenced by the quest for longevity and immortality. The longing for eternity has always been a key driver for shaping our built environment. The pyramid was built not just as a tomb, but in fact as a resurrection machine for the pharaoh. While the terracotta army in Xian was a piece of infrastructure to protect and safeguard the first emperor's afterlife so that his soul could live forever. In modern societies, immortality exists in different forms. Skyscrapers' monoliths are not only representations of power and wealth, but also signify companies' long-lasting business models. The taller and more skyscrapers you have, the more robust your business is. In religious contexts, immortality is often stated to be one of the promises of heaven, where churches and cathedrals were symbols to express the eternity of God and their loyal believers. Our studio explores how the manifestation of immortality can be employed in architectural and urban design, whether as a metaphoric investigation or in a speculative manner. The symbiotic understanding of immortality and expiry from different perspectives might address social transformation in culture and communities, economies and ecologies, politics and policy. Here, we invite students to imagine and invent alternative realities through researching, analyzing, and synthesizing urban visionary ideas, along with innovative technical disquisition, environmental science, and entrepreneurial narrative. Study Plan Part 1 The Quest of Immortality. Students to define their own understanding and creative position of immortality. What does it mean to be immortal from different perspectives? Part 2 Locating an expired site. Each student is required to identify the specific qualities of their chosen place that establish its position as expired, be it about the ownerships, economic situations, building conditions, lack of inhabitation, or abandoned. Part 3 Creating an Elixir. The analysis will provide critical thinking for program and spatial formulation. The interest in technical innovations and environmental science will stimulate the poetics of construction realities. Gaming and digital augmentation tools will be incorporated to explore the potentials of an alternative representational means in the final outcome.
Okay, so just a quick introduction of the tutors before we started. So I'm Ivan, and I'm a practicing architect in London, working in London right now. I also have been the teaching assistant for Professor CJ Lim at the National University of Singapore since 2019. And I'm also currently a first year design tutor at the Bartlett School of Architecture right now. So just gonna introduce my partners in crime as well. Actually, Herman and Desmond, do you want to just quickly jump in and introduce yourself before?
Desmond, you want to go first? See, not here. All right. I'll go first.
Yeah,
hi guys.
go for
So
it.
my name is Herman, and I am not an architect, and I'm a game designer. I'm a former technical tutor from University of Edinburgh, and currently I'm working in London as I co-founded my company called Workplay Games.
Yeah.
I would like to add to Herman. Herman has both architecture degree and a game design degree. And Desmond is actually one of the co-founders of mOOO. And then he's working at Wilkinson Eyre in Hong Kong. Unfortunately, he can't join us today. So,
Yeah.
and you want to carry on?
Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, you guys can see my screen, right? Ben and Herman, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is screen sharing? Okay. So now I'm just gonna briefly talk about the brief and also briefly explain what we are expecting to, the outcomes for each part of the study plan. So the brief is pretty much about immortality and how immortality can actually becomes almost like a vehicle for architectural design. So the part one, the quest for immortality, students to define their own understanding and creative position of immortality and what does it mean to be immortal from different perspectives. So the first part, students will be given some specific articles, fictions, or even movies for references. And through your own personal understanding of the materials, you'll be asked to develop the skill of research, graphical communication, and through a series of critical thinking, you guys will be asked to establish your own intellectual positions for the projects. So here is just some examples for what the outcome might be. In our studio, you might see there's a lot of drawings and graphical communications in the introduction video, but what it really does is actually a lot of research to back it up as well. So starting from even like collages, this sort of 3D collages to test out the spaces, test out the ideas, extract the elements from your fictions and your narratives, collaging them in whether digitally or physically. So trying to establish the position and the narrative for the project to begin with. Yeah, so I'm just going to scroll through some of these examples. And then the part two, locating an expired site. Each student is required to identify the specific qualities of the chosen place to establish its position as expired. And at this stage, students basically will obtain the skills to develop and communicate the ideas of intervention into the site. The foundation of your site research in your part one of the study will basically becomes a driver for your tectonics development. So you have to identify the sites. You have to do a lot of research. For example, like looking into articles about the places. For example, this project here is about the relationship between Hong Kong and China, and through a series of understanding of the different incidents across history, across different timeline, and you use this basically to find your position of the project. And even the tectonics, even the architectural design is pretty much based on the fact, based on the sort of incident that happened across over the past. And then part three, once you have developed all these concepts and architectural position, and then we comes to this part, which is called creating an elixir. And this is the last part of the program. We will guide you to develop a design report for your proposals. And the focus is not just on the technicality and the buildability of the project, but you will also have to consider, for example, how the projects will be delivered and how the projects will be funded. What are the sort of entrepreneurial strategy for the projects? How do you actually sponsor it? So you'll be formulating a series of different strategies that will enrich the project outcome. And at the end, some really huge drawings and also gaming and digital augmentation tools will be incorporated to explore the potentials of an alternative representational means for the final outcome. So these are just some examples from, extracted from even whether it's myself or some of my previous students' design reports. So basically just a trailer of the sort of documents and images that we are looking for. So you can see like the final drawings is pretty much informed by the sort of research and also the understanding of the technicality of the building as well. So it's not just one nice image, but actually the whole process of research and understanding of the building of the site context actually build up to your final drawings. So yeah. Okay, so that's it for me. I'm just going to hand over to Herman, which will be introducing some gaming augmentational tools to you guys, which we think it will be really exciting to incorporate that into a design workshop.
It's my
Right,
screen
over
share.
to you. Yeah.
You can see your screen now.
Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm not an architect. I'm a game designer. So the things you get from me and the thing I'll teach you will be slightly different. So part of the development of this design studio is that I'll be introducing you to using the vision of game development and how this can be beneficial for the development of architectural design. I'll be teaching you using game engine, in this case, which is Unity, to adapt your architectural project in the form of digital interactive. For example, the final outcome of your project can be presented in the form of a video game or an environment that allows you to roam and walk around freely, or even an app, an AR that have your model appear by scanning an image. So one of the biggest benefit of approaching in like a gaming or in digital interactive way is that you can engage your design or your concept as the form of experience. Because in video game wise, one way we can call it, like if you're playing a shooting game, we call it a first person point of view or first person shooting. Even though you're still engaging your design through the screen, computer playing, but the ability to be able to control your movement, this behavior is uniquely belongs to you. So as every different people that engage this project or engage a game, it allows a very different experience, or even closer when it comes to learning or understanding your design concept. So students in this course will have free access to the Unity course on the Studio mOOO site. And you might ask, like, do I need to have a coding experience for these? Well, my answer is no, you don't need any coding background. I'll help you through it and make very simple code and get your project started into, for example, what I'm showing here. I'll have guide teach you step by step. If you want your project to build in AR, I'll teach you how to do it in AR, or something that you click, you go in the game or go in the environment, you can walk around. A way of presenting your project, I'll guide you through that. Yeah, that's it from me.
Okay, thank you, Herman.
Great. Do we have any questions? I think it's also a great opportunity to using new design tools where you can be inside the 3D model and then you revise the design in a first person perspective, and then you keep designing from first person. A lot of times architects just design from a top-down view as if you're a bird, but that doesn't happen if you're inside a gaming engine. Like everything will be down to your like a person scale, and then you'll be developing something that's relative to your body size. I think that's an exciting opportunity.
Yeah, I agree with that, Ben. Just want to add on to it, because I think our unit very much believe in the sort of graphical communication and how graphical communication can actually, bring out the poetics, the accents of the project. So you see how we actually use, different colors. The colors are not random. For example, in some of my drawings, the colors are actually referenced to the traditional Chinese emperor robe, dragon robe. So it is to sort of represent the grandeur, the authority of the ownership to the project. So the drawings itself, the graphics style itself is also part of the project to sort of convey the ideas. And I think with Herman's workshop, the sort of gaming and augmentational tool, it will actually enrich the project into another level, because we are so used to drawings and graphics in two-dimensional way. It's 2D, always just you can see the depth, you can see the shadows, but still it's on a plain paper. You can't really feel the tectonics, you can't really sort of walk into it and see how the building actually manifests itself. So I think with the sort of this new gaming tool, new sort of designing tool, combined with the sort of graphical communication skills, the result would be something new, something that we won't even be able to imagine of. So yeah, I'm personally, I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
just
I also see this adds on to the brief that's about immortality. It's like
mhm.
uploading yourself into the digital world, and it something that lives on in the digital world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any particular questions for the studio. If you guys have anything, please ask.